Because a lot of these young people, not all young people are out there looting and rioting. We heard from young people who are out there because they're upset about what's happening in their country. And they are taking the lead, stepping into the void, and fighting for what's right. They're sick and tired. But yet, the people who have made it, many of them who are of color, and white folks as well, they are these young people have put themselves on the line. They have nothing. They're not wealthy. They're poor kids, a lot of them who are out there.
All peoples enslaved and murdered other peoples, but white people were just really good at it. We were also really good at giving them rights and so on afterward.
But a lot of people I asked to come on this show to talk about this, wealthy celebrities, wealthy political people. I can't do it, I'm mad, I don't want people to see me mad, it might hurt my business, or I'm so upset that I had to go to my country house and I just can't do it.
The fact is, the United States of America, that is a white country.
Where are you? Why aren't you fighting for these young people? If you don't do it now, when are you gonna do it?
Yeah, white privilege is wonderful. I want to expand and deepen white privilege.
If you are a millionaire or a gazillionaire or a movie star or a politician and you don't step up now, when the hell are you going to do it?
We do dominate the world to an extent. Look at the boards of directors of most corporations, tons of white people and Jews.
Stop making excuses. What are you worried about? If you have made gazillions of dollars and you are rich and you have established, why are you afraid?
I do care about power. Power is good.
Power is good if you're the boss, but in your world, if you get your dream, you're gonna kill our dreams. That's the problem. It's like you want to put your foot on our throats.
You are your brand. Step up, people. Step up, Black Hollywood. Come on.
The generation I come from and the generations to come are not going to stand for that because we're not going backwards.
We got to get past all this division because we're not going backwards. We're only going forward.
You're sitting there and you're watching TV and you're bitching about it. And you're saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm watching this. What is going on? Stop texting me and asking me, oh my gosh, Don, what is happening to our country? Stop tweeting me and telling me I'm loving what you're doing. Get on television or do something and help these young people instead of sitting in your mansions and doing nothing, and have some moral courage and stop worrying about your reputation and your brand. That's all I got to say, Reverend. I'm off my high horse. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're not on the high horse.
The very sad, horrific, and unfortunate murder of George Floyd is truly a game changer. We hope the justice system gets the sentencing right this time. Considering that they will do that, well, after that, then what?
What if we as blacks in America could make things a whole lot better for all of us by simply staying under the radar? Never having to march again and perhaps even protest. Never having to put ourselves in harm's way or destroy anybody's property, and never having to disrespect anybody. What if, in a completely nonviolent manner, we could get all the lawmakers, all the law people to respect us as a deserving, valuable, and viable entity, appreciating what we have already committed to this country from day one? What if we could tweak the justice system without interfering with its ability to curtail violence and lawlessness. What if we could get all politicians to respect our vote and honor it long term? What if we could get people who will never like certain other people for whatever their reasons are to simply stay in their lane and live and let live? And that includes every last one of us. What if, starting with Wall Street, we could gain the respect and the appreciation of our hard-earned dollars that we spend in and out of our communities, online and everywhere else? What if we could let the whole world see that America finally got it right when it comes to racism? And if we could expose all the racist leaders and high places on all levels in and out of government? What if we could do all these things and never have to expose who we are, expose our family, expose our professions or our privacy? What if all blacks in America, or say 80 to 90% of all blacks in America, could come together and establish one bond of solidarity and something that really matters most to all of us, regardless of who we are, what level of society we are on? What if we could get that one thing right for once and for all, where we could agree on the same thing? Just one same thing. And what if we could commit to passing that bond, that understanding, that solidarity down to our next generation without thought or delay? Would we do it? Because if we would do it, it would make for our own people's 10 commandments. Gentlemen, I believe that we have an answer, a real solution to what it's going to take to solve a lot of our problems here in America, and also to bring our race as blacks together. And fortunately, we have the position right now to not just bring our race together, but to bring our whole community together, at least people who really want to do right for a change. It's really not a lot to ask for people to give 5, 10, 15 minutes of their precious time to hear what we have to say, particularly when we're talking about something that is going to be such a major thing. And for those who will give us a few minutes of their time, they must first absorb it before they start judging it. Absorb it. All I'm asking is that you exercise your mind before your emotions, before your egos, before your previous experiences. And for starters, all we want right now is for a mere 20% of everybody who's concerned about economic power and economic leverage to come together and take a stand with us. We have a plan, and we want you to explore before you start trying to find fault and reasons to say something is wrong or it's not for you. You know, let's just give this a real strong thought process. Because I'm certain that if we do this and we do it right, we will show a togetherness in such a way that hadn't been done before. and it will get a lot of people's attention. And out of this attention, more people are going to slowly come closer and closer and will slowly become a part of what we're doing, simply because they have a lot of personal concerns and issues of their own. And we all fall in this same category. And this reality is also going to get the attention of the powers that be. And trust me, they're going to become concerned as well, particularly when they realize that it's too late to interfere with the force of this movement. Now they're going to try to rattle us to their table, to have a sit down, to have a discussion, which is ultimately what we want. The only difference is they won't be the only shot callers. We will have some leverage to do some shot calling of our own.
Okay, I looked over your plan several times. What I can't help but to keep thinking is, how are we going to justify to the people that it makes sense to give a movement the benefit of the doubt, especially if the people are not going to believe in it? Most of them, or a lot of them, can't even wrap their head around the concept. A lot of these people are just truly just stuck in their ways. It's going to take a lot.
Well, you see, they first have to truly want a reasonable measure of power. Something on the inside of them, their life experiences, it must have an urge for this type of thing. They got to seriously take a look at their children and the next generation and what it means to them. This is something that you truly have to care about. There's just no way around it. If you don't care, that's different. But if you're tired and you really care because you understand what you need, what your community needs, what your family needs, that's what's important. That's what the 20% is made of. Of course, some other things as well.
Power and leverage means something very different to most people. And everyone has an ego inside of them, along with a whole lot of fear, whether they will admit it or not. And we are already separated mentally and economically, which makes for a complete disarray for any group of people. So how do we explain well enough that power that we are referring to is an essential necessity to have a good quality of life?
By reminding them of the opposite of power, which is currently what we have right now, which is why we have no leverage. And that explains why what we've been living all these years to some degree has been a farce when it comes down to economic leverage and power.
I don't mean to sound facetious with this question, but we're trying to reach millions of people, some who are slow to do math. So how intellectual would one have to be to comprehend where we're coming from?
The soul is the last thing to die in a person. Anybody who really understands that, they qualify for the first 20%.
I'm concerned about the so-called leaders who will become a big distraction. Some of them to serve their own agendas and even their ego in such a way that it will send mixed messages to the people that follow them. They'll say that we're far-fetched and perhaps that our ideals are not the right pathway or the correct answer. To the best of my knowledge, no one has even brought a similar strategy as ours to the masses. And if they have, there's still a whole lot of us that don't know anything about them. And when your money is invested in the Wall Street, you'll do anything to protect it, just like anybody else. You will denounce any source that comes against your cash flow. Some of these people are very elegant communicators, and they are beloved.
To the 20% strong, anybody who tries to say something that is going to fog their mind or lead them in a direction that just gets the same old results which is not solutions, but more and more pain and frustration. That 20%, they're gonna see them as either fools or maybe Uncle Toms or just slicksters. That's a good word for it, slicksters. They would not serve themselves well to shun a movement that has the potential to do a whole lot more in a shorter space than what has been done over decades and decades of some of the same old ideas and measures and procedures. And I don't want to criticize some of them, because some of them are good and some of them we still need, but we have to look at what has not worked over decades, and we have to look at what has the potential to work like right now in a very short space. I'm talking about less than a year. 3 to 6 months time, we're going to see a change, and a real change. You see, this political system that we have, it has played everybody. It was designed that way. We've been knowing that. Okay? That's not new. Anybody that just believes totally in the political system, they're naive or they are misleading. But we are not about politics. Where we're coming from is not from the position of politics, but at some point we will have to bring our agenda into the political process. But make no mistake, where we're coming from is from the heart and the soul of everyday, ordinary people.
So how will we bring people together and spread the word to the masses?
Simply by becoming one seed that grows into one single blossom. 20% to some might seem small, but trust me, that is really a huge thing. 20% is huge. And the blossoming of that flower is a great and magnificent thing that is going to change mindsets, attitudes, behaviors. That's why it changes the game, because it changes starting from a new place to process your thoughts and to act on your thoughts. And trust me, everybody is going to recognize that, whether they like it or not.
Okay, cool. So let me ask you this. So are we going to need social media and the mainstream news to accomplish this goal? Is that what you're telling me?
Naturally, and every other medium. But our seed grows in a very nurtured garden with fine soil. Think about that. It doesn't grow in a wild field, is what I'm trying to say. And this single garden is going to represent other single gardens that all together, they're going to morph into a very large space.
I think we need to reiterate to everyone about the race card, especially when we look at all the riots here recently due to the murder of George Floyd, where many of the people who put themselves on the front line, they weren't black. And that was a beautiful thing to demonstrate, not only to our nation, but to the world.
And I am personally proud of that. We've always said that Black Green is not about racism, but we are black people and we have to stand for ourselves. And anybody that stands with us, we have to embrace them back. We have to reciprocate, but we have to make sure that we are on the same page without a shadow of a doubt. Anybody that stood on the lines for justice along with us, they deserve to have the same benefits as anybody else, particularly what we're standing for. Because, as I will continue to mention, this is a movement, one for economic power and leverage.
Can we please get to the heart and soul of this matter, to the nuts and bolts of this movement that will make it be successful? I'm anxious for the first 20% that's going to get excited and come together.
Yes, and it's very simple. And it's been right there in front of our faces for decades. Even right now, it's right there, right in front of our faces. I watch the news and I see all these different people having so much to say in the media. And some of them are sort of close to what I see and what we see. But they're yet so far away because they're just too close and they don't comprehend, at least not openly, they don't comprehend what it's really about, what it's really going to take. A lot of them are just a little too close to it. Think about that. Now I'm going to show you some footage right now that you've already seen. I want you to take another look. Pay close attention. Look very, very closely and tell me, what is it that you see? Again, pay very, very close attention.
Okay, so you know what I'm seeing now? Now I'm seeing people show their anger and frustration that's been built up inside through all of the decades. Now people are destroying property, breaking laws, because it's the feeling of cops and the justice system not caring about our community. And they don't. And we know this. We know this. Especially when it counts most. We just want people to be fair, but they can't even do that.
I find it amazing that people, mostly black people, who can't come together on an everyday basis, are coming together in pain and destruction under circumstances of duress, while at the same time still broken in pieces. So, unfortunately, where we hurt the most, where we bond together. But when the dust settles, most of us will go right back to the way it was before. So I see my friends and family being just as sick and disarray as they do in their everyday normal life.
I see the same thing. But I also see a sense of hope that just will not become a reality. While this justice system is just waiting for the right moment to reveal their underhanded schemes to get away with deception and false hopes, but with a military force that will guarantee the resolution that they determine. So I see the potential to be hoodwinked again.
And I don't see that type of leadership for the black people, especially for the black man. And that type of leadership is what we're gonna need for this country to go forward. So I see a concoction that could possibly cause America to go into a complete state of civil unrest and danger. And it's gonna cause all these rodents to come up out of their holes from everywhere. And they're gonna begin to wreak havoc on the very ones that they love to hate.
In other words, you don't see any solutions, correct?
No.
No.
Now I want to show you and everyone else how to get real solutions for a nice change. No more playing games, so we're gonna have to hit the bullseye this time. Let's take one more close look. One more. You gotta see this. The answer to our resolves, plural, is right there in front of our eyes. Have been there from the very beginning. Look at the buildings in the background. Look at the names of some of the stores. Some of them are franchises. Some are very successful companies that have been around for a long time, and some of them same franchises, they own smaller companies that we don't know that they're the actual owners. Come on, let's look closely. Look at some of the billboards. You see, these companies have invested into these areas where the crimes and the protests take place. Brain's starting to turn now. But notice something, they are not protecting their investment. Why? Because they are silent. Check them out. See, they're silent at a time when they should be fighting for their profits. But they are not. And it's because they don't care about the people, they only care about the money. And some of them are losing their money right now. Now, we've got to do the math with some of these companies and get a picture of about how much money they are actually earning annually, and put some perspective to approximately how much money is coming from black dollars. Next, we got to put names on these companies. Who are the CEOs? Who are the presidents? Who are the managers? Who are they? What are their names? Yeah, we got to call them out now. See, at the same time we're doing this, we've got to realistically imagine how these people are actually sitting around in the luxury of their mansions, watching on the finest big screen 4K televisions the very same news that we're watching at the same time as everybody else, and seeing how their companies, some of the buildings that they're leasing, are burning and their companies are losing money. What are these people really thinking while their maids and their servants are preparing their food and serving it to them? Think about this. How comfortable these people are living their extravagant lifestyles and watching a lot of their money go up in smoke. I'm sure they're thinking about how their insurance policies are going to compensate them for their losses. Some of them probably got the kind of insurance that's going to take care of all of their losses. Maybe even pay their rent or their lease for X amount of months, because you know it's going to take some time to rebuild in order for them to reset and start making money out of these same communities, these very same locations again. Some of them may not come back, but let's watch and see which ones will. Now, after we take a look at this picture and absorb it, we got to ask ourselves, where are these people when it comes to standing up for us? Where are they? I'm talking about standing up for the very people who are a major part of their income. We're talking about them black dollars now that sends their children to colleges all around the world. The same dollars that allows their families to take extravagant vacations at their leisure. Some of that same money that allows them to eat in the fanciest, the nicest, the best restaurants. And Some of them travel all over the world eating in some of the finest restaurants. Why are these very people that own these companies, that make this money in our neighborhoods, not standing up and fighting for us? They are silent. Yeah, you got to think about that. You see, many, if not all of these people have the position to pick up the phone and call the mayors and the judges and the politicians and the sheriffs and the chief of police and get some good time with them on the phone. Some of them have the position to get private meetings with them. And they definitely have the best lawyers and doctors. I'm not criticizing anybody for having that kind of quality of life, and it'd be nice for all of us to have it. But the world ain't made like that. That's not the point. The point is not to criticize them for making that kind of money and living that kind of a lifestyle. The point is saying, if you're making that kind of money from us, from our dollars, why are you not standing up fighting for your dollars and fighting for us at the same time, so that we can continue to spend our money, so that you can continue to earn that kind of money from us and live that kind of a lifestyle? That's the point. So they sit back and they watch us suffer. And they live large. And they show no action in our behalf. So I'm going to read to you now some of my notes that I have. Some of it is up here and some of it I have noted. How much money do they have to lose before they get alarmed and decide to protect their income and their investments? Let's look at the time frame it would take for these locations where protests took place to recover from damage, and how much money will these companies likely lose during this time. Now, they will likely survive this with nothing more than a financial agitation or a tax write-off. And this will not change their income to the degree that would jeopardize their overall company or their lifestyles. So given this guesstimated insight, let's consider how many months of a loss it would take if we boycotted every single one of their stores, online and offline, for them to lose enough money to get on the verge of being paranoid and frantic. This is our collective angle. We have already created and prioritized the list of every company that makes millions of dollars from black dollars, including the dollars from the people who support and stand with us. And we're going to put these companies in the hot seat in exchange for their support. And this is not going to be the support that they determine to give to us. It's going to be the support that we want from them. Because we're not going to be unreasonable. We're not going to be unfair. We're not going to be against them making the money that they make. It's not the problem. We want to have their support for economic leverage and power. This is our movement. And yes, all of our requests is in writing, very detailed. Now, when 20% of us demonstrate that we can put a real dent into the income of these major companies, or at least the ones who will not support us, even if it's only a modest dent, this proof will excite others to come aboard and join in with us. We will grow and we will gain more results, and we will not have to march in the heat, the cold, or the rain. We won't have to worry about being sprayed with tear gas, shot with rubber bullets, or being invaded by our own military with bayonets. We would not have to destroy other people's property, and we certainly would not have to plead to the ears of a racist system or justice system. We would not have to change anything about our daily routines. All we have to do is, in a very organized way, boycott. We're going to put up a website. We're going to have an email list for you to join. From the website, you'll be able to get updates, and from the email list, you'll be able to join and get direct information. All you got to do is send an email to Black Green in the subject box, say I'm in, and then from there, you'll be included. And all you got to do is live your life on a day-to-day basis. Stay in the loop of the information. Stay connected to it. Support it. Do your part, because everything is going to be doable on any level. It doesn't matter who you are. We're going to show you how there's something that you can do that determines how you spend your money, when you spend your money, where you spend your money, in such a way that you'll be satisfied and content with. It's all about careful planning. And it's all about a reasonable measure of sacrifice. These sacrifices are really small sacrifices. You'll see. You'll see that in 3 to 6 months, we will be making the kind of impact that is going to spell success. You'll see. Green is the answer. Voting helps. Marching and protesting, that helps. Green is the only answer. Black-green is the position. I can assure you that while the powers that be may not respect you as a black person, they will respect your black dollars. And if you don't believe that, do your homework. Look at Wall Street. The last thing they want to see in Wall Street is for the Dow to drop. And when we impact these businesses in the way that we're going to do it, the Dow is going to drop. And when the Dow drops, they start freaking out. And then they start saying, hey, look, we need the Dow back up. And in order for the Dow to come back up, we need those black-green dollars to be spent so that the stock can do what we want it to do. That's when the CEOs and the bank managers and all of those players in the financial world realize that their vaults, their accounts, they are calling our names. We need them black dollars. We cannot kill all of these people. We cannot incarcerate all these people. We cannot cripple all of these people, because the Dow is going to drop. These people are smart now. They are courageous now. They understand what time it really is. And now we've got to change the whole process of our way of thinking, of our way of conducting business across the board. And they're going to have to deal with the reality that we're not trying to do anything to harm them. We're only saying, look, enough is enough. You want our money? Appreciate it. Because you can't respect it if you don't at first appreciate it. And at some point, they'll sit down with us and we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about it, and we'll have our lawyers and everybody together, and we'll say, hey, look, it's time now for real policy change. And let's just rewrite some of this stuff, and let's make sure that everybody is in the right position. You can continue to live your lavish lifestyle. We don't have a problem with that. but at least you'll be showing more respect and appreciation and concern for our communities where you invest your money, whether it be online or offline or abroad. Now I'm going to reiterate again that, we have to be well organized. We got to be peaceful. We got to be smart. We got to conduct ourselves out of pure integrity and class. We'll go about our daily lives like we always do. We just simply stay connected to the information. We don't have to talk about it outside of our homes if we don't want to. We just have to be about the movement and make sure that we're on the same page. If you should reflect on the bus boycott back in the day, in the 60s, you'll see it took about a year or so, but it worked. And the only reason it worked is because of money. It had nothing to do with, let's be fairer to black people. It had to do with money. Let's let black people ride where they want to, sit where they want to sit on the bus. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with we've lost just too much money. So what where they sit? What difference does it really make? All the money goes into that little coin slot. And we want that money. That's what it boiled down to. It was ignorant from the beginning to try to make people sit in a certain location. So 20%, this is not like the easiest thing to accomplish. Nothing great has ever been accomplished the easy way. But we don't have to put our lives on the line. We don't have to shed blood for this. All we gotta do is be on the same page. So this is our agenda and plan. And we're going to exercise it starting right here in our own garden. And as our flowers bloom and our branches stretch out, we're all going to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And we're going to share in all of its blossoms. We're establishing that 20% right now. Certainly we hope that it's more than 20%. But we're starting with 20%. Go ahead and email blackgreenfilm@gmail.com and say I'm in. You can also anticipate the website that is in the process of being built right now. But you can you can go ahead and join at blackgreenfilm@gmail.com. And you'll be the first to know everything, and you will have all the information. When our plan comes to fruition, it won't be about making America great again. It'll be about making America greater. So, come on, let's make America greater.
Cheers.